So I haven't made a manga video on this channel in like a year, and honestly it seems like even longer ago. I kind of stopped making manga videos because I wanted to exit that niche, and I did not want to become a manga or anime YouTuber, mostly because I don't have a passion for just manga. I just have a passion for yapping, to be honest, and just talking about anything that's on my mind or shining light on certain stuff. And that's what I'm gonna do today. Just happens to be a manga that I'm talking about. Anyway, does anybody remember this meme? If you were anywhere on the any manga side of the internet like 2 years ago, you should recognize this guy. Some people call him Kagurabachi, man, but his name is Chido. Honestly, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly. I'm black as shit. I'm not Japanese. Anyway, in like 2024, this character became a meme because a new manga dropped and he was the protagonist. Everybody just thought he was edgy as hell and looked cool. People were calling it the best manga of all time before the first chapter even fucking dropped as a joke, and just glazing the character based off of one singular panel. Not even a panel, just like a cover art. I don't know if you guys remember, but this meme came with the phrase "enough time has passed," and it was pretty funny because literally no chapter was out and it was being compared to the best new gen at the time, or even just the best manga of all time. But in my opinion, my oh so humble opinion, I genuinely think enough time has truly passed, and I am willing to say Kagurabachi is the best new gen right now, like easily, and it's gonna be this way until Kubo comes back with Bleach on some Boruto shit. Let me plead my case. At first glance, a lot of people think that Kagurabachi is just some revenge slop manga, and it low-key looks like that because of how edgy the main character seems to be, and also his dad got 200 pumped in like the second chapter. But it is way more than that. Not only lore wise, but the plot was never really about revenge, but more about him trying to live by his father's values and recollect all the blades that were stolen from him. Chihido's dad is renowned as somewhat of a war hero. He is the person that made the weapons to end a war that was going on with another civilization that was attacking Japan. So he's basically reverse Oppenheimer. Later in the story, they dive very deep into the morality of creating the weapons for war and the side effects that happen because of the weapons that he made for the war. Just like when the US dropped a nuke on Hiroshima and how the nukes are still being debated over to this day. The blades that his father made upwards of like 20 years before the story even starts not only continue to further the plot because somebody could be running rampant with them hoes on the streets, or they're being passed around in the underworld, but due to what happened in the past with these blades, there could be victims of the war or people that have opposing moral stances on the so-called heroes. There's even people that glaze the heroes and think that the weapon should still be used to enforce power. Imagine your dad is Oppenheimer and then you have niggas like, yo, I love the nukes your dad made, bro. We gotta keep using them bitches. And you're like, no, we actually should not. I'm gonna kill you now. But with all these different plot moving forces in the manga, the most recent arcs in the manga shift from the goal being to recover the blades to now it's really lore deep forces that the main protagonists have to put a stop to. I'm not trying to really spoil anything, so I have to talk really vague, but the last 3 villains that have been introduced have so much fucking aura, bro. Like, they remind me of like Madara and Obito in that right, and they also have some good motivations when it comes to like why they're doing what they're doing. It kind of makes you want to root for the villains sometimes not, but you know, you can understand why they're doing what they're doing. And I feel like that's a good plot point in a lot of major stories, even though I really do like a just overly evil ass villain. And I'm not gonna lie, Kagurabachi has like a Sukuna in it. I'm not gonna say too much, but I will say that they do have a Sukuna type of main villain right now. But at the end of the day, how evil he seems on the outside, it's just the outside, and he still does have motivations, and his heart is kind of in the right place. I don't really know how to explain it. He isn't as evil as Sukuna. Sukuna was just a dickhead crash out. He wanted to fight. He wanted to kill and eat babies. He was a demon. There's definitely some villains in this show that are just bloodthirsty and just love fighting though, but they're not as evil as Sukuna. Like, nah. If I say show while I'm talking, by the way, I mean manga. It does have an anime coming out though, so you know, be prepared for that. Heard it's gonna be better than JJK. This is what they said. I'm just a messenger, bro. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the aura and like the coolness of these fucking characters. The author literally just be passing out aura to everybody. Usually in a shonen manga, your main character starts kind of weak. You know, they have to build up. They realize that they're weak, this and that. This nigga Chihido come out swinging. The main character of this manga does not start weak at all. He literally comes in just killing shit in the first chapter, bro. We see him take on like 30 swordsmen at once, and he's literally chopping niggas up, slicing them in half. And I kind of feel like this plays into the overly edgy factor, but in the best way. Obviously, he gets stronger as time goes, and he realizes that he has to get stronger to face certain challenges that are introduced later in the manga. But Cheeto ain't never been no bitch. Like, he cool as fuck since the first chapter. They don't even explain his powers until you get a few more chapters into the manga. It's like starting an RPG game and the character is already cool as shit, but then you get more points to put into a skill tree and you learn more fighting styles and shit as you get into the game. And then low-key, like, every character has their own sauce, they have their own motives, they have their own cool unique abilities or fighting styles, and they all kind of overlap in a great way. Even the way that some people fight is lore rich, and it can impact the story in different ways. Like, one of my favorite side characters, Samura. He's just fucking blind, by choice, by the way. So he senses hostile energy around him. What makes this so cool is there is like a special unit formed around him of ninjas that can hide their hostile energy and literally everything about their presence, their scent, their sound, all that shit. So they're like the only people that can fight with him, but that also makes them the only people that can like stand a chance against him. And this matters a lot earlier in the story. Not gonna tell you why. You know, no spoilers, but it impacts the plot, and it's very lore rich, bro. I fuck with that type of shit, bro. It's like not world building because it's not the world, but it's like plot building. I don't really it's good writing, my nigga. Whenever an author takes this much time to put lore, like deep lore, into a side character that's not just sad ass backstories and shit like that, and it actually impacts the story, that's amazing writing, bro. The main character is cool as fuck. His abilities are very creative. Since his dad made his sword last out of all the enchanted blades, one of his abilities is he can just copy any ability that he encounters from different enchanted blades, and he can also just absorb an attack or like any damage and just throw that shit back at you. He also can cloak himself in like spiritual energy and give himself a buff on some Super Saiyan shit. And he also controls like goldfish that come out of his sword. I don't really know how that works. I know he can see out of them, and he can also now switch places with them because he learned this ability from someone else. But I don't really know what else they do. I low-key forget. But about the like spiritual buff, if I'm reading this panel correctly, it is stated that this nigga is faster than lightning in this state. And what's crazy is a lot of his ops can still keep up with him. So if you really care about power scaling in your manga, I'm not gonna lie, the main villain right now is whooping Sukuna's ass. The main character is faster than lightning. If we want to do speed and power feats, I'm not debating you, but these niggas are strong. Speaking of ops, his main op, Hirohiko, is like the opposite of him. His ability uses paper sheets on like some Conan shit. He can watch things through the paper. He can use them as weapons. He can use them to obscure your vision. It's a pretty cool dilemma, especially with how the author draws the main character's powers with all the black ink. It literally looks like black ink versus paper sometimes. Also, unlike the main character whose power comes from hard work and determination and discipline, this nigga is just a prodigy. He makes improvisations on the spot that give him the power to completely overwhelm anybody. He was literally never trained in the sword, and he made his own fighting style in like 15 minutes, and then he completely developed one of the most rare to use and hard to learn fighting styles lore wise in the show that Chiito had to train to use. On top of this, he also gets a very unique power a little bit later in the manga that allows him to fuck with people's senses even further. It's low-key like some genjutsu shit. It's really cool. And even though he wasn't the first villain introduced or the strongest villain introduced, I feel like he's easily the best parallel to the main character, and the author is definitely building on that. It's kind of like how Shigaraki was to Deku, except Deku was not edgy and he doesn't kill niggas. Back to what I said about the author just throwing around aura though, I don't think there's been a single villain that has been introduced that isn't cool as fuck. The main villain group, the Hishaku, are mad cool. They kind of remind me of the Akatsuki and the Phantom Troop mix. They are also responsible for Tu tapping his father, so he kind of has that vengeance role against them. And also his biggest parallel is in the group. He's kind of like the golden boy and he has free reign. He's not the leader though. The two strongest members that we have seen in the group are named Yura and Hokuto. They are great antagonists with hella personality. The way that they're so cool, you would think that their motives are a little better, but they're low-key just kind of evil. But I love an evil villain anyway. Not everybody has to have a redemption. That low-key becomes a problem in Shonen. Like, it's a breath of fresh air when a villain is actually a villain. That's why people love Sukuna so much. Low-key, the group was so mysterious at first that everybody thought that Yura was a descendant from the island or some shit. But then he just comes out and is like, yo, I fucking love how the nukes were used, bro. We gotta keep using them like that. Like, bro, what the fuck? But so many characters have, like, almost every character has aura, bro. Samurai, I talked about him earlier, the blind samurai who cut his own fucking eyes out. So much aura. The strongest character of all time, aka the Sword Saint. Not gonna spoil too much, but he has so much aura. The current arc's villain, his name is Prince Aiku. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, he just shitted on like 4 protagonists. 4v1 shitted on him. Like he literally and these are not any like bums, bro. Like, you know how motherfuckers call people bums. These were good characters. These were like strong lore built characters. We was like, oh yeah, they're finna beat his ass. No, not even close. Like he was genuinely on some moderate at the 5K summit timing gang. Like he was shitting on them, and it didn't even look like he was trying for real. There's so many characters to choose from. Low-key, I do feel like the character designs are not basic, but they seem to be a little too similar sometimes. I guess you could say that that's just the art style. Like in the most recent art, there is 2 characters from the same clan, and they look very similar. But for like 10 chapters straight, I thought that I was looking at an entirely different character than who I was actually looking at, and then I realized, oh, they're just both goated. I do feel like Hokunozo needs more versatility in the facial designs though. Not saying that any of the designs are bad, because they all look great, but some of these characters just need to stand out more than they do. Apart from character design though, the art is amazing. He has insanely good fight sequences. His choreography is insane. And the way that he draws the concept of speed or impact is crazy as fuck. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. Like the creativeness of the paneling and like where he positions people, the way that he shows impact, it looks like a movie, bro. I still think Sakamoto Days might take the cake for when it comes to creative expression and choreography and paneling, but Kagurabachi takes the cake when it comes to perspective and just cool ass aura moments, I guess. I don't know, bro. I feel like Kagurabachi's art isn't just detail. It feels like the author is a director and he's drawing with the mindset of like fucking a filmmaker, bro. Like on some John Wick shit, some Tarantino shit like that, bro. A lot of things that make the art stand out is stuff like how much fucking ink Hokunozo uses. It low-key has become a joke in like the Shonen Jump community, like a on running inside joke that they're prolonging Kagurabachi because he's using all the ink that Shonen Jump has. But most manga just use black for like shadows and shit. Kagurabachi uses like black to control what your eyes see. You know what I'm saying? Like the full page just be darkness, and then you see the main character slapped in the middle of that bitch. Sometimes instead of filling every inch of the panel with detail, the author might bury everything in darkness except what really matters on the page. Just like how some manga might fill the page with just white, well, not really fill it, but just leave the page blank. He does the opposite and just makes it like dark as fuck. And just like I said before, his use of perspective is insane. A lot of battle manga just use a lot of speed lines and smears. He uses smears and shit like that, but instead of using speed lines, he'll rotate the camera. You know, one page might be a bird's eye view, the next one is on the floor, then the next one is behind the main character's sword, and then the next one is a close-up on his eye, bro. It's like a movie storyboard, bro. Like there's some panels where it literally just shows like his sword and legs, like for no reason, but it looks so good. Like you can tell what's going on. He uses light really well, you know what I'm saying? You might see one side of somebody's face completely black, the other side lit up, or a light cutting across the room. You know, he reflects light in fucking raindrops, certain fights. The swords be glowing against the dark pages. Shit like this is why I say it feels closer to John Wick or Kill Bill than a classic shonen. Also, the pacing and the arcs are amazing so far. Literally no flaws in any. I haven't had a single flaw in the pacing. Super well structured arcs. Everything bleeds into each other. Currently, we're actually on a flashback arc on some like third grade ninja war shit. Or you could say, what other shonen has really good flashback arcs? Honestly, I don't know what other shonen has really good flashback arcs besides Naruto. But the current arc we're on kind of reminds me of Naruto, and it's building on the characters that we already know that are older than the main character, not too old. Oh, JJK with Hidden Inventory. It low-key reminds me of Hidden Inventory, because not only is it building on what might be your main character if your main character is like of one of the more mature characters or older characters, but it's showing why things are the way that they are now. It's showing you Chihido's dad making the swords. It's showing you the war. It's showing you what happened in the war. It's showing you what everybody went through. It's showing you the restructure of the rules. Everything is it's crazy, and the writing is just getting better. Like the 1v4 that I was talking about earlier in the video just happened in this war arc. This new villain we got introduced to is a fucking goat already, bro. And apparently there's 3 others that are on his level of strength. Every chapter just peak after peak after peak. They're throwing some romance in there with Chihiro's dad and mom at their younger stages. It just peak. Everything is going great, bro. and I really think y'all should read this. Not gonna lie, my Chick-fil-A is here though, and I don't want it to get cold, so I'm about to end this video. Call me a chud if you want in the comments, but nigga, I do have to eat. So if you like the video, please like the video. If you want more like this, you know, show love in the comments, man. Tell me to talk about manga more, because I do read a lot of manga. And subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. Fuck with everything in the description, and I'll see you guys next video.
תלמיד ישיבה הולך עם תספורת מעליות. זה תספורת של גוי, של יהודי? גוי. תספורת שוקולדים. זה יהודי או גוי? גוי. בלורית. זה תספורת של יהודי או גוי? גוי. מכנסיים. צמודים כמו נקניקיה מסלוסי. זה גוי או יהודי? זה גוי. שתי מקלות של מטאטא של סנוקר הולכות. אתה גנב!